Hello everybody, welcome to Reviews That Don't Matter with Jessica Hitt. My name is Jessica Hitt, and today, if you have been keeping up with my channel, you know I've been doing the Fast and Furious movies, and today we are doing Furious 7. So here we go. I will start off by saying that Furious 7 is my least favorite of the sort of Fast and Furious renaissance period that we are right now, starting with Fast 5. To be fair, this is the movie that had the daunting task of having to go and finish the movie after the passing of Paul Walker, which is just, as I could never even imagine having to go back to work and film the second half of this movie after the death of a friend who has been in the series for so long. That just seems very, very hard. I cannot believe they did that. This was also a movie that had to open with a fan favorite character, Han, and his death and his funeral after the passing of Giselle as well, so you did lose two very important members of their crew, which kind of got them down to Roman, Pierce, Tyrese, and then Ludacris's character. Of course you have, what's his name, The Rock. You have Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, who is not in this movie very much, and I don't know if that's because he was also filming a whole bunch of their projects, or if they intentionally wrote him a smaller role this time. I would have loved to have seen more of him, for sure. Of course, any movie can use more of Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, but I do think they did a really good job introducing Ramsey in this. She isn't my favorite character, but I still really like her, and obviously I like, I don't know if it's Natalie or Natalia Emmanuel, who is on, of course, she plays Missandei from Game of Thrones, and anyone from Game of Thrones I am a fan of. I really don't like what they did with Ludacris and Tyrese kind of going after her affection, which is also explored in The Fate of the Furious. Come on, I don't need that right now in the storyline. You know, we have, of course, the overarching story of Brian and Mia, and then you have Letty and Dom back, and so I don't need any more love in these movies. I want more action, which you do get really great action scenes in this. I love the whole scene of them rescuing Ramsey. I think that scene with Paul Walker in the truck and then it kind of toppling over and him having to get out is so much fun. It's great. He did a great job in that, and they did a great job in that in general. I thought that was a lot of fun. Obviously you have, you know, the scene where they decide to drive a car in between 3 separate skyscrapers in Dubai, or was it Abu Dhabi? It was Abu Dhabi. So yeah, that happened, which was ridiculous. And you have also, they decided to put Ronda Rousey in this, and you know, she's there. You know, just not a big fan of Ronda Rousey, and I think it's because they're just trying to push her so much on us, and especially in the acting world where she is not an actor whatsoever. She can't even act enough to be a good action star, in my opinion. Sorry, I said it. But you do see Letty kind of be like the most badass ever is when she's taking her on, so that was really cool. I didn't realize she could fight that well, and when she was doing that for the first time I was like, oh, okay, I didn't realize she was this great of a fighter, but okay. And this also brings in the introduction of Kurt Russell's character, Mr. Nobody, which I really like. I like this whole idea of this like really secret government organization that is totally fine with working with criminals, basically. That is a blast. And on top of all of that, you get Jason Statham as Shaw's brother from the last movie, which is awesome. And he's avenging his brother, who is in a hospital with like half his body basically burned because he fell out of a burning airplane. And I like the fact that there is this really similar storyline to him avenging his family and Dom's whole crew being about family, you know? So that was really great. It wasn't about world destruction, it was about being hunted down by Shaw. I do think that it became a little muddled, the fact that, you know, they sort of got teamed up with Mr. Nobody to find Ramsey and get God's Eye so they can possibly get to Shaw, who, you know, that's not necessarily needed because Shaw just shows up everywhere. It's so funny that he just shows up everywhere. And I know they kind of explained that whole thing, but still it felt a little bit like they were really trying hard to introduce this new character in this way. which it worked in the long run. I don't like to put too much thought into these movies, which I didn't have to do. But like I said at the beginning of this video, this has been my least favorite story-wise of the Fast and Furious since Fast 5. I really like Fast 5, really like Fast Furious 6. Furious 7 was definitely good. It definitely isn't like the first 3 where they're really not that great. It's definitely a good movie, but it didn't live up to the other 2 as much as I wanted it to, even though it introduced all these really great characters. And honestly, as bad as this sounds, it might have been because of that whole Paul Walker tragedy. It really had this weird bittersweet feeling to watching it. It's really sad to think that, you know, you're not gonna get to see the continuation of the story. I think that they ended it beautifully. I don't think there was a better way for them to end it. But now this whole thing raises the question, how is this universe going to continue without both Brian and Mia? Paul Walker has had the most screen time out of any character in this entire franchise, and so he's really the heart and soul of these movies, in my opinion. And so you just kind of wonder how they're going to continue on, and I think that they're right to continue on. I think that's exactly what any actor would want to do in that sort of position is, you know, if I'm in this really successful film franchise and I die, I hope they continue it, you know? I hope they do it in a good way. Because it did bring a lot of people together that they all cared so much about, which is really, really prevalent in all of these movies, especially nowadays in the Furious 6, or the Fast Furious 6, Furious 7, and Fate of the Furious. Very, very evident that that is such a big part of it, and I really appreciate it. I think they did the best they could have possibly done in this movie, honestly, considering what happened halfway through filming. Overall, I still really like this movie. It's just a little bit harder to watch because of everything that happened, and also story-wise, it's not my favorite. Even though I do really like Kurt Russell in this and how he doesn't give a crap that they are criminals and he still wants to work with them. I think that's great. And it, you know, it's a bit easier to swallow than someone like Hobbs, who's very by the book. Okay, that is my review of Furious 7. If you guys liked it, give it a thumbs up. Comment down below what were your thoughts on Furious 7. Please let me know. I like to read these comments and see what other people are thinking. Also, don't forget to subscribe. I post videos Monday through Friday most of the time. I will be taking a break this week because I am going on a trip and I don't want to worry about any of this filming. So I will see you guys the week leading up to Mother's Day. Well, I'll see you guys later for Fate of the Furious, obviously. But have a good week. Bye!